Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another pre-market watch list here today. Thank you guys once again for tuning in as always. Good morning, Roman. Good morning, guys. So you guys can see there's a few changes on the stream here today. So cool stuff, cool beans. Other than that, what's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. So anyways, you guys can see only a couple stocks here I'm watching. Gonna keep an eye on some other stocks, but gonna specifically talk about NBEV, IGC, and Tesla today. Tesla is just a joke. I don't want to say it's a joke, but to see that it moved like that, pretty ridiculous. But we'll cover that. No green screen. That's a black screen. Anyways, so we'll hop into it here. We'll keep it on the next screen for a little bit so you guys can mark down all these stocks here. So you guys go, that's kind of the complete watch list up there at the top. NBEV, AMRN, Netflix, Tesla, IGC. Stocks gapping up and down. You guys can write those down as you wish to cover those. Good morning. Another one you guys might want to keep an eye on this morning is General Electric, GE. I think the news was they appointed a new CEO to the company, along with some other news I didn't really get into reading. So you might want to keep an eye on GE today as well. You said IGC last week, but I ignored. I don't look at everybody's stocks. I don't look at all the stocks. I traded IGC on Friday, made a killing on it. So I only look at, or not should I say, I only follow stocks I see value in. When I see value in them, then I'll mention them and or I'll trade them. It's not that what you're mentioning isn't necessarily going to be good. But yeah, I mean, good for you. If you traded IGC and made some money, absolutely beautiful. You got an IGC at 256. Fantastic work. That's an amazing job. Good job. Van, when you go to the website, all you got to do is scroll down to the bottom, click the course, and it'll show you the pricing that we offer. Should you hold IGC? That's something for you to determine. I don't know. How much money can you afford to lose and things like that. So that's an individual thing of, how long can you hold IGC? Again, that is completely up to you. The stock is overextended. It's definitely due for a pullback, whether that's today or not. You can't predict the future. OGEN, in terms of OGEN, I wouldn't buy OGEN. It's coming up to its 200 moving average resistance at about $1.54. So personally, I think OGEN might pull back and crash today. So yeah, anyways, good morning, everybody. Yeah, we're going to get into this here in a second. So let's get over to the next screen here, guys. All right, so we'll start with IGC. So first we'll look at the this daily chart. And so if you guys have followed me before, IGC is in what we would call a classic bubble. So, personally, this thing is most likely going to pull back and crash a little bit. Whether it's today or not today, it's very hard to say, but it is very overextended. Classic penny stock push. Definitely looks like a bubble to me. It's a penny stock bubble. Oh, you guys want to see another one? Here, I'll show you. Ready? We'll go back to back on this. So let me close that out. We don't need level 2. We don't need live news. We don't need level 2. All right, then we'll just go look at TLRY. Okay, so there it is. TLRY, hockey stick, bubble, crash. Same thing you're going to have happen here with IGC, okay? So personally, if IGC does eventually crash, there will be a nice bounce somewhere down here on it, but that that's probably not going to happen today. I wouldn't assume so. But IGC is overextended, is in a bubble. at least right now. So yeah, it's kind of picking up a little bit pre-market, but again, this is still a pretty choppy chart here pre-market so far. So it's kind of moving. Ideally, this thing needs to stay up and over for one, $7.50, and then it also needs to stay above, really $7.25. If it can stay over 750 or over 725, then I could see it having hope for being a long bias trade on the day. Again, there's still a lot of hype and momentum surrounding. Oh, 1 second, let me put my camera up there. There's still a lot of hype and momentum surrounding the penny stocks, especially the weed ones and things like that. So yeah, it could keep running. That's why we're going to keep it on watch. Scott, yeah, it's basically impossible to short a stock that says hard to borrow on TD Ameritrade unless you're a part of the hard to borrow program. All right, so that's IGC. So what I would recommend doing is mapping off your pre-market high level, 750, 725 as your support levels. Go from there. Next one on the list, sure, we'll talk about AMRN. As we stated on Friday, looked like a long play. If you look at the chart is definitely overextended, but I don't actually see it. It's had multiple opportunities to pull back, and it hasn't. So I don't personally see it as a trade that's going to have like a super massive short. It might. But again, as you can see, it's popping up, starting to roll over pre-market, had a massive push. So yeah, I would expect there's going to be some type of pullback here on the stock AMRN. So if I look at this like a 5-day chart, I mean, it's just kind of steadily grinding up. There's nothing about it that makes me really want to short it. There might be a parabolic push to the downside today if it really rolls over, and then it might have a bounce. But I wouldn't really try shorting this stock until it's on a short it for like a massive short, unless it was on a first red day setup, but it's not. So personally, I would still keep AMRN on your watch list as potential longs in the future. So something to watch for, I guess, would be to see if it bounces on $17. $17 is the aftermarket support, along with a little bit of pre-market bouncing action. So I would keep AMRN on a watch for a bounce around 17. If it breaks 17, then watch for a bounce around $16.70, 80 cents. If it breaks that and really gets cooking, then you could say maybe off of $16.50 or $16 would be the next bounce level. Yep, I'm not. There's nothing this morning that makes me super excited personally. Next one on the watch would be IGC. So IGC, again, kind of similar to, or not, no, it's not similar at all, actually. Or wait, we already went over IGC. I apologize. Next one I want to talk about is NBEV. So NBEV, okay, ready? Let me draw it out. Classic bubble, ready? Classic bubble pattern, right? And then it crashed. So classic bubble, pop, crash, bounce. Common. All right. So now with IG or NBEV, oh, it ended up picking up. Nice work there. So for me personally, as I stated in our private group this morning, to watch NBEV long over, and let me put it on a intraday, 15 days, 5 minutes. So NBEV, I stated it had to hold over $6 to be good for a long. It did hold over $6. Now that it's breaking up and over $6, we could probably see it run up close to $7 would be the next resistance. So I'll be keeping NBEV on watch for a long today. But as it keeps pushing higher pre-market, I become less interested in the long because this could easily just be a dead cat bounce soon to roll over once again. So again, mapping off the resistance from right there at $7, going straight across. That's most likely where we'll see it maybe pop to and then start coming back down. All right, there it is. That's really just NBEV today. Yeah, seriously. Tesla's a joke, personally. What's the other one? So we'll talk about Tesla. So Tesla gapped up overnight straight into resistance. This is pretty ridiculous personally, but again, Tesla investors and the news there, that makes the stock go crazy. It's also because Elon said the company is close to profitability. Okay, so again, as I've stated, anything that Elon says, I would take with a grain of salt. Okay, wouldn't put all my eggs into everything he says, because he's been saying that the company is going to be profitable for like the last 4 earnings reports and they're going to meet production. They failed every single time. So here, let me tell you this. So if I told you to just, no, that's a bad example, but again, right? So he says the company's soon to become profitable. So because he says that, you should just dive right in head first. That's what's happening. Okay, pretty ridiculous. So again, I would just wait until their earnings report comes out and let's see if they're actually profitable. There's no point, right? There's no point to chasing it, right? Oh, we want to get in before the big move. Well, what if you're wrong and then you get crushed? So again, yeah, you say you're profitable. Well, we'll see. Okay, I'm not saying you won't be, but we'll see. There's a time and place to figure out whether or not you're going to be profitable, and that's going to be in your next earnings report. Simple as that. We have 1 month to go. All right. So yeah, it gapped straight up into the 315 resistance. It's selling off, but I mean, after that massive gap, it's kind of hard to say what's going to happen, because I could see more short sellers getting squeezed out when the bell opens. Then I could see more people trying to come in and short it because it's at the 315 resistance. So it's at a nice spot. If I were to short this, it would have to be back up closer to 315. And if I were going to long it, it's actually at a good long point, the 305 support level of pre-market. If 305 starts breaking down, I would then watch for a possible bounce around $297 or $300. Yep. Yeah, day trade, not an investment. All right, on to the next one. Netflix. Going to be watching Netflix long today. Netflix pulled back. Now it's gapping up. So it's basically just it. Going to be watching this long. If you guys have been following along for, past couple weeks, we've been following this thing for days on days on days on days. Basically just watching to see if we can get up to that 385 price point on Netflix, and if we can get a break over there, maybe look for a gap fill. So it'd be really cool to see that. So yep, that's kind of it so far today. We'll talk about GE real fast. GE, look at GE's massive push here this morning. So let me look at a 180-day chart personally. Yeah, I would not long GE yet. I don't see GE as a long play. Sure, it had a massive squeeze here, but let's say you're like, oh, well, now it's going to be time. They might turn their company around. Okay, well, if that's the case, what do they have to do first before the chart starts going up? It has to show trend back to the upside, which yet it hasn't. It's just showing a move up. It needs to pull back, and it needs to put in a higher low and confirm trend back to the upside. So if you were considering a long on GE, I would personally wait until the stock pulls back and puts in a higher low in the daily chart. So I'll watch GE today for a trade, both long and short. But in terms of like investing or something, I wouldn't, or swing trading, I wouldn't be hopping in until it puts in a higher low. So I'm going to watch it both long and short today. Right, so like KF said, GE's a turd and to stay away. He's not wrong. It is a turd right now, but could become in the future. So here's another big issue with like long-term investing is when people see a stock like GE, they run for the hills. They go, oh my God, look at that thing. It's so bad. I don't want to put my money in there, right? Or actually, let me do they go, oh my God, I don't want to put my money in there. It's been trending down for forever. It's a bad investment. Yeah, you're right. But that's where most of the money's to be made in terms of a long-term investment. And then someone comes over here and goes, AMZN or Amazon or something, right? And let's, do a chart like 20-year chart. And they come and look at a chart like Amazon and go, oh my God, Amazon's an amazing company to invest in. Yeah, it's a good company to invest in, but not these prices. Like, that's what you don't want to be investing in. And then a company that you do want to be investing in is like that. You have to rewire your brain. Don't think like the majority, okay? Though GE is bad right now, it's something to follow because they are a massive company. If they can somehow turn over and become good again, there is potential for massive, massive gains, okay? Can't think like the majority. So though it's a turd now, could become later, right? And though Amazon's great now, it could become bad in the future. It'd be a long time for that. But, right, people, for whatever reason, there's a psychology of their brain makes them want to invest in something like Netflix, Tesla, Facebook, Google, Amazon, Shopify, Square. And they are all at very, very high levels. They are not on sale. There is nothing about those stocks that provide area for good money long term until they have a correction. And I'll say it every day. Sure, if you're already in the stock, ride the wave, but in terms of new investments, not a good idea. Why do I remove bad? It's pointless. Yeah. Let's see. What time is it? 8:50. So yeah, you could keep an eye on GE today. I'll watch it both long and short. VSTM. VSTM has like no volume, so in terms of day trading it, not a good stock to day trade, but you could watch it in terms of swing trading. TRVN. That stock has no volume. That's not a good stock to day trade. I guess you could watch it for swing trading. SYN. SYN, classic pump and dump. Stock goes from 2 to 8, crashes. Would not be super crazy about watching this, but I would keep it on watch because there might be a little bit of a move or a bounce if anybody's shorted and still needs to cover up. So I would watch SYN for a little bit of a squeeze today, but don't think it's going to do anything as big as what it did on Friday. If it does have a move, it's going to be quick, and you're going to need to be spot on with your entry because that's basically it. It's not going to have multiple runs like it did on Friday. Let's see here. What did you ask me to look at? Let's see. You wanted me to take a look at TNDM. Yeah, TMDM is just a long-term investment. I mean, it's pulling back right now. Let's see where it's at. Okay, TNDM put in a lower high, so it could be on a backside where it's going to start trending down, but just watch it. Now it's going through consolidation, so just follow it. There's no trades on that until it goes through its consolidation phase. We've already been over NBEV. We already went over SYN. AVEO probably has no volume. Not necessarily a great stock to day trade. Yep, AVEO has no volume. Would not day trade that. Clam. Is that even a stock? Well, it's not pulling up. OGEN, something everyone wants to talk about. Okay, we went over OGEN briefly. I would not be trading OGEN today. There might be a play, but it's most likely, I mean, actually, yeah, there could be somewhat of a play, but chances are what's going to happen is OGEN is going to end up crashing today, personally. You're going to see it pop up to like 150 or maybe 160, and then it's going to come crashing down. All right. What has happened every time? Look at this stock, right? Do your research. What happens every time it pops up? It crashes, pop, crash, 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 pop, crash. Mini pop crash, mini pop crash, mini pop crash, pop crash. It's going to crash. The only difference is between these ones and this one is there's a higher low going into it. That's the big difference there, is there's a curl. So this might have a bigger pop, but it's going to crash. Okay. So be careful on that. AMRN. Let's see there. Let's see. AMRN. Oh, we already went over AMRN. You're going to have to go back on the video to look at that one. So, Cron. I'll take a look at Cron real fast. Cron's getting probably pretty ugly nowadays. Yeah, Cron's just ugly. I wouldn't even trade that now. There's nothing about it that proves pattern. It's just back and forth choppy, back and forth choppy. I mean, it's just not even fun to trade at that point, so I wouldn't even worry about that too much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you today on the pre-market morning watch list. So hopefully that helps some of you guys determine what you're going to trade and just learn. So here are the stocks gapping up and down watches again for you guys that tuned in late, so you guys can go ahead and take a look at that. Why did TLRY go up so much in pre-market? I don't know. There might be some news around them, but again, TLRY is still extremely overvalued. It should honestly become, realistically, the price of that should be around like 20 to, I don't want to say necessarily 20, but the price of it should come down. If it follows any laws of nature of stocks, it should be at like maybe 30 bucks. IIRC. Sure, let's see. IRC? Yeah, I don't have any ticker at, I don't have any, or is it LLRC? Yeah, I have no ticker for IIRC. Nothing pulls up. Or is it RCX? Yeah, nothing. Yeah, I used to paint cars when I was younger. No, the young investor, you're false. Please listen. Please listen. TLRY can be a very good company, but its valuation is far greater than what the company is worth. Okay, you're investing in a speculative stock. Please listen. The stock market will crash. Trumpy stock. If you don't think it's going to crash, you're just naive and don't know much about investing. LLRC, is that what it is? LLRC. I'll take one quick look. Don't have LLRC. I have LLRCX, but that's basically it. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. So hopefully it helps you guys determine what you guys are trading. As always, thank you guys again for tuning in. I appreciate it. Other than that, I guess I'll see you guys all tomorrow morning and for a little bit of a recap video here today. Other than that, guys, take care and stay green. All right.